This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Passengers and riders in the Circle City are still getting familiar with Indigo's Red Line. Now at 5 o'clock, why attention is now shifting to the next phase of rapid transit in Indianapolis.
And a woman walking her dog in Jackson County makes a life-saving discovery: an infant lying near the street. This morning, the questions from police and their plea to you.
Plus, changing leaves are drawing thousands of people to Brown County, but the leaves aren't the only thing changing. We're working for you with how a massive sale could impact downtown Nashville. It's 5 o'clock on your Wednesday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Meredith Bear.
And I'm Lauren Casey. We have Todd Clausen with us this morning talking about our forecast. And Todd, I woke up to some pretty decent rain showers down in Greenwood.
Yeah, you know, that cold front went through, and the showers are now on the eastern side of the state. But as that front went through, it woke me up. I had a quick burst of wind at my house, and that came with that rain that Lauren mentioned. And you can see that line of showers is now off towards the east. So we're almost done with the rain for the day today. That is the good news. A quick little tour here off towards the east shows a few showers from Fountain City down towards the Richmond area. And as we slide a little further to the south, Brookville back into Greensburg now, a few showers. But this is quickly making its way off towards the east. So rain is basically going to be out of here by the time most of you get on the roadways for your morning commute. Skies trying to clear a little bit initially here, and I do think we do see the break in the clouds for just a little bit here this morning. But as the sun comes up and we start to heat things up just a little bit, this is likely going to fill back in with some more cloud cover with a persistent northwesterly wind. So temperatures are in the 40s to right around 50 degrees still in the Sullivan area. We're at 40 though in Crawfordsville, 49 in Muncie, and everybody will see these temperatures go down a few more degrees here this morning before we just slowly climb back up into the low 50s here later on this afternoon. But with that gusty wind, Lauren, 51 is going to feel more like the upper 40s, so have the jacket handy throughout the entire day.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look right now at some drive times for your commute. Taking a look here on the south side. As you travel up State Road 37 from Smith Valley Road, it is an 8-minute drive to the I-465 ramps. No delays there. And then looking over here on I-65 as you're hopping on the northbound interstate, it's an 18-minute drive from the Whiteland Road exit all the way up to the north split here in downtown. So no issues there. Everything's traveling up to speed. Taking a look right now to our north, I-465 and Ditch Road, where we have some ongoing road construction. You can see it there in the median. But overall, traffic is moving along just fine, both eastbound and westbound. This is a spot we'll continue to monitor throughout the morning, and we will keep you updated. It's 5:02 now that Indigo's Red Line, it's up and running. The focus is now shifting to the Blue Line.
The Blue Line is Indigo's next big project that they say will provide rapid transit along Washington Street between Cumberland and the airport. But there are some people who are not in favor of adding another bus route to the city's already busy and crowded streets. RTV6's Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with more. Kelsey, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, so we spoke to some folks around here who are not happy about the project right now. Their main concern is how the Blue Line could impact their businesses and traffic along the west on West Washington Street. And tonight here at the Wayne Township Government Building, they're going to have a meeting to let Indigo representatives know what they feel, what they're feeling about this project. So the Blue Line, is going to be a stretch of about 24 miles with a bus stop every half mile to a mile apart. Right now, the plan calls for the Blue Line to have dedicated lanes, just like the Red Line does downtown. That means that for drivers, it would just be one lane each way here on Washington Street, which is currently 2 lanes. So Rachel Hawkins has a family business on Washington Street, and she believes if the Blue Line goes forward with dedicated lanes, it would negatively impact a lot of businesses along Washington Street. Hawkins says after talking to several other business owners and residents along the proposed Blue Line, she realized not a lot of people knew about the plan, and that's why she organized tonight's meeting.
So I feel like the more transparency there is, the more people realize how this is going to affect their businesses, affect the residents that live in the area. The more people will get engaged and be willing to help to make these changes.
Hawkins says she's not totally against the Blue Line as long as it's done the right way. She, again, thinks that it should share lanes with the drivers instead of having its own dedicated lane. She tells us representatives from Indigo will be at tonight's meeting to hear concerns from business owners and residents. Now, again, that meeting is here tonight at 5:30 at the Wayne Township Government Building. For now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Kelsey, thank you. A person walking their dog may have saved a baby's life in Jackson County after finding the infant in a plastic bag. Seymour police say someone found the child Tuesday afternoon along a fence about 20 yards from South Jackson Park Drive. The baby was taken to the hospital for treatment. Authorities want to use this situation to remind people about safe haven baby boxes. There are several around Indiana, including one at the Seymour Fire Station on Meadowbrook Drive. Babies can be placed in those boxes safely, no questions asked.
At 5:05, opening statements are now set to start today in the case of the Northern Indiana woman who's on trial for killing these 3 kids at their bus stop. Alyssa Shepard faces several charges, including reckless homicide. A jury was selected up in Fulton County on Tuesday. This crash happened back on October 30th of last year in Rochester. It killed a 9-year-old girl and her 6-year-old twin brothers. Shepard said she did not know she was driving towards a stopped school bus the morning of the crash. The tragedy prompted lawmakers to pass new state laws regarding school bus safety.
Brown County is a popular destination in Indiana, especially this time of year, but major changes could be coming to one prominent town there, and that has residents there worried. A man who owned about 35% of the properties in downtown Nashville died last year. Those properties will go on the auction block in 2 weeks. That includes 25 local shops. Some people are concerned about potential new development changing the spirit of the area. One shop owner shared with us the emotional interaction she had with one customer.
She said, kids, pay attention today because we're making memories, because when we come back next year like we always do, it may not be the same. And it touched my heart because we'd never thought of it from the customer standpoint.
The town council has created new rules making it more difficult to tear down historic buildings that are more than 50 years old. The real estate liquidation auction will be on October 30th.
At 5:07, an update to a Call 6 Investigate story we've been tracking. A Greenwood woman accused of taking money for driveway paving and not doing the work is now going to jail. Recently, Natalie Davis pleaded guilty to home improvement fraud and corrupt business influence. Both are felonies. A Monrovia couple says they paid Natalie Davis and Santino Gilk $7,500 to pave their driveway. But the company, Awesome Asphalt, didn't finish the job, and they didn't give the couple a refund. Davis says that she plans to pay back the money that she owes. And on Tuesday, Davis was sentenced to serve time in jail. She also must serve probation.
This morning, one of the top health officials in Indiana says vaping-related illnesses and deaths show the need for state taxes to discourage e-cigarette use. Dr. Lisa Hatcher, the Indiana State Medical Association president, told a state legislative committee Indiana needs to join other states with excise taxes on e-cigarette liquids. A vaping tax proposal failed during this year's legislative session. State health officials say vaping is to blame for 3 deaths in Indiana, but Indiana vape shop owners say black market products are the real problem, and they market products only to adult customers.
A month-long auto worker strike against General Motors may be nearing an end. The United Auto Workers Full National Council is reportedly meeting with GM CEO Mary Barra. It's the first time the union's council, which is made up of top officials from across the country, has been called to Detroit during the strike. Many see the high-level meeting as a sign that GM and the union are close to reaching a tentative deal for a new contract. Workers say they're ready to get back to work.
I think that they are going into a positive direction, and we're looking forward to whatever comes out of talks. We're ready to go back to work.
GM striking workers want to earn top pay with full benefits within 4 years instead of the 8 it now takes. They also want enhanced health care and 3% raises twice over 4 years. Time right now, 5:09 on our Wednesday. Let's check in with Todd Clausen and see what we can expect outside.
Yeah, Lauren, a new air mass is in the process of working its way in. Yesterday, we saw temperatures climb up into the 70s. We will not get there today. In fact, it's going to be a struggle to get back up into the low 50s for many of us later on this afternoon. So the front's gone through. I'll show you some showers in just a second, but overall, we're just looking at mostly cloudy skies and temperatures that'll continue to fall off here throughout the morning commute. We'll be down to about 43 degrees by the time we get to 8 a.m. because the cold front now is just almost about to exit the state. So there's a few showers here still well off towards the east, but otherwise your morning commute will be dry. But these temperatures, they are not really going to warm much at all throughout the day today, only back up to right around 50 degrees here in northern locations. Our official highs happened earlier this morning right before midnight, but this is what we'll get back to this afternoon. About 54 in Bloomington, 55 in Seymour. Here in the metro area, highs will be right around 50 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. So we're done with the rain, but have the jacket handy throughout the entire day.
Todd, thank you. A second grade student caught vaping in class just after the break, where the boy says he got the e-cigarette from.
And you Yahoo, better yet, did your Yahoo get hacked? Straight ahead, why you could get a payout from the massive data breach.
Days from 4:30 to 7.
This morning, the Trump administration is proposing opening more than 180,000 acres of the country's largest national forest for logging. The Agriculture Department unveiling a proposal allowing road construction and reclassifying forest areas of the huge Tongass National Forest. That includes more than 150,000 acres of old-growth cedar, hemlock, and spruce. The Tongass National Forest in southeastern Alaska is about the size of West Virginia and is a habitat for bear, eagle, and salmon. The department says the proposal will be published this week.
From desperate housewife to California inmate, Felicity Huffman began her sentence at a federal correction institution in Dublin on Tuesday. That's according to a representative for the actress. Huffman was ordered to spend 14 days behind bars for her role in a nationwide college admissions scam. She pleaded guilty to paying $15,000 in a scheme to boost her daughter's SAT scores. Huffman is the first of more than 30 parents charged in the criminal case to begin serving her sentence.
A second grader in Wisconsin was caught vaping, and the little boy says he got the device from his mom's purse. The boy's mother says the device contains CBD oil. Police say the 7-year-old was using a device that looks similar to a USB drive to vape in class. School officials say once they found it, they threw the e-cigarette in the trash. Nicole Herold is a parent with a child at this school, and she says she could not imagine having to be on the lookout.
I guess I hadn't really thought too much about my elementary school students being in contact with a vaping device. I don't think they would know what to do with it.
The 7-year-old was taken to the hospital to be checked out. Police say no charges will be filed in the case.
At 5:15 new this morning, at least 72 people have died as a result of a typhoon in Japan. Right now, crews continue to search for 14 people who are still missing. The monster storm brought record-setting wind and rain, resulting in flooding and landslides. More than 100,000 police, fire, and other workers are involved in the rescue and cleanup efforts. Back here at home, we had a little front move through this morning, Todd, but looks like that's over to our east.
Yeah, we're basically almost done with the rainfall, and that front is almost fully through central Indiana, which will bring an end to the rain for everybody for the morning commute. Just a few lingering showers right now on the far eastern side of the state from Versailles up towards the Brookville area, and just south of Richmond, a few showers, but these will all push off into Ohio pretty quickly here this morning. And otherwise, the skies are trying to clear. You notice the clouds still prevalent from Indianapolis closer to that front, but back off to the west, Lafayette to Peru, back to Terre Haute, the skies are starting to clear. So there will be a little sunshine, I think, as the day gets going here across the area. However, I do think as the cooler air continues to work in, the clear skies are going to fill back in with some cloud cover, because you notice all the rotation here with the front. Here's the area of low pressure. Here's the cold front. We have the counterclockwise flow around this area of low pressure, and that is going to drive in the cooler temperatures throughout the day. So our temperatures will continue to fall here this morning. Another couple couple degrees before they hold pretty steady during the afternoon hours. 46 degrees with the winds out of the west-northwest at 12 miles per hour. And these winds they'll be pretty gusty here throughout the afternoon hours. That 12 is the sustained winds, but they're gusting up to about 20 to 25 miles per hour throughout the day today. So, and it's not only the wind speed, but the wind direction for our Wednesday. That is going to be the issue. That persistent northwesterly wind is what's going to keep these temperatures from warming much at all throughout the day. 42 in Crawfordsville right now. Martinsville, good morning to you. You're at 46 degrees, and it's still 44 in Richmond, where some light rain showers continue to fall. So we're definitely transitioning to a briefly cooler weather pattern over the next few days with that northwesterly wind. That's the direction the wind is coming from. And you see upstream here, temperatures are in the 30s and 40s. So throughout the day today, we'll be in the mid-40s by the time we get to 11 a.m. and then about 50 degrees by the time we get to 2 o'clock. Later on this afternoon, and then we just stay in the low 50s. So there's just not a whole lot of warming from about the noon hour onward, only about 4 to 5 degrees with skies that'll be mostly cloudy, but it will be dry. It's this evening that the skies will start to clear. Temperatures will cool back off into the 40s. And when you wake up tomorrow morning, temperatures are going to be in the 30s for just about everybody. It's a chilly start to our day tomorrow with a little bit of cloud cover, but as the day goes on, it should become brighter. Temperatures still below normal tomorrow, with highs that'll be in the upper 50s to right around 60 degrees. But then we do start a warming trend that'll take us into the weekend as high temperatures get back up into the 70s. Could be a stray shower on Saturday. The better rain chances will come late Sunday and then into next week on Monday and Tuesday, with temperatures, at least on Monday, that'll be in the 70s, 60s on Tuesday. And if I extended this forecast out further next week, it does look like we get a pretty good blast of cold air by the middle of next week. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thank you so much. We want to take a live look right now at traffic. This is in the Fishers area. Good morning to you here in Hamilton County. I-69 at 106th Street. You can see traffic is picking up both northbound and southbound through this area, but it is moving along just fine. No delays to slow you down. Take a look at our traffic now map at this hour. Monitoring one crash cleanup here. No injuries to report. 29th Street and Fall Creek Parkway South Drive. A crash cleanup in that area. Keep an eye on that as you're heading out the door for your morning commute.
Another one of the companies that tests DNA to trace your family roots is getting into the health game. Ancestry.com just launched Ancestry Health this week. The new service will expand its DNA screenings to test your predispositions for certain diseases and disorders. The basic service will cost $149. Ancestry's main competitor, 23andMe, already offers similar health screenings.
Well, there could be a significant link between pollution and miscarriages. A new study says that pregnant women exposed to high levels of pollution face an increased risk of having a silent miscarriage in their first trimester. Now, a silent miscarriage happens when a fetus hasn't formed or it's died, but the placenta and the embryonic tissue remain. Researchers found that women living in areas with higher levels of concentrated pollution saw a greater risk of miscarriage. The authors think that particulate matter pollution is a problem because those tiny particles can cross the maternal fetal blood barrier and disrupt fetal growth and development.
Yahoo users can now file a claim for a piece of the class action settlement related to massive data breaches. If you had a Yahoo account between January 1st, 2012 and December 31st, 2016, you can get 2 years of free credit monitoring services or up to $358. That's including traditional Yahoo email or accounts on Yahoo Fantasy Sports, Yahoo Finance, Tumblr, and Flickr. Hackers gained access to nearly 3 billion accounts back in August of 2013. The data breach wasn't disclosed until years later and is considered the largest hack in history. The deadline to file a claim is July 20th, 2020.
The Indiana High School State Volleyball Tournament is underway this week. Just after the break, our own Brad Brown shows us how back-to-back state champions are preparing to add to their winning streak. It's 5:20. Good morning, Indiana. We'll be right back after this short break.
Drive at Honda of Fishers.
Welcome back. The state volleyball tourney will continue tonight right here in the Hoosier State.
And Newcastle is among the state's top teams. Our Brad Brown explains how the Trojans are going for the three-peat.
Inside this temple of Indiana basketball, it's the Newcastle volleyball team that is shining bright on center court.
We've had a pretty tough schedule this year, and we've responded really well. They've been a little bit more motivated the past week and a half, knowing that sectional is coming and our postseason route is a tough one.
The Trojans won the last 2 state championships in Class 3A. That meant a move up to 4A this year and a chance to take a swing against some of their biggest rivals.
We're all hungry to win. We all play club. Most of us play club, so it's like losing's not an option. Because coming from club volleyball and then all playing with each other, we know what to expect from each other.
Senior Melanie Schaffmaster is one of several Division I caliber players on this team. Right alongside her, younger sister, Mabry.
Whenever we first started playing together, I was kind of scared to tell her that the ball was too low or something. So now she just kind of gives me a look, and we just know. And I know that since she's my setter and like we have a really good connection, and you really want that with your setter. It's a higher level of knowing what to expect from each other since we come from the same house, and we've been competitive since we were like 4 and 5.
The sibling duo are just the tip of the talent on the Trojans roster. Head coach Sarah Roush has worked with many of them in Munciana club volleyball.
All of us, almost every single person is going to play beyond high school, and like focusing on how important the team chemistry is and like how important having each other's backs is just so important.
We've always pushed each other, but then if they didn't want to push, then they kind of left. But throughout the years, it's always remained us, and we always know that like we're capable of so much, and if we bring everybody else along with us, it's just going to keep growing.
In Newcastle, Brad Brown, RTV6 Sports.
And we want to wish them the best of luck as they're playing in that state tournament. That is the coolest gym in the state, I swear.
So I've heard. I've never been there before.
Yes,
so
it's huge.
Might have to take a trip to Newcastle.
I'll go with you because I haven't been there either.
All right,
so.
good. They were chatting about it
it's
during
a good Morning Indiana road trip.
Yeah.
Yes, so.
All right, Todd. If people are heading out on the roads for a road trip today, what can they expect weather-wise?
You know, the rain's pretty much done. There's a few lingering showers well off towards the east in Richmond and Brookville, but they're pushing off into Ohio. So your morning commute, there could be some wet roads in spots, but no additional rainfall. That is the good news. But temperatures will continue to cool off here this morning. We're just still now in the process of changing out this air mass. So while we're about 44 degrees here at 6 a.m., down to 41 degrees by 9 a.m. with mostly cloudy skies. And then throughout the day, we only rebound back up into the low to mid 50s. So it's going to be a cooler day with more clouds and sunshine. So they probably want to have the jacket from start to finish.
A new option could be on the way for those needing or wanting training for a new job. Ahead on Good Morning Indiana, we're breaking down how the proposed West Side facility could help you land a new gig. Plus,
while building a legacy park, the fight against cancer one family did not expect. That story at 6 a.m. when I join Lauren and Meredith on Good Morning Indiana.
Today at 10 on RTV6. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Coming up on Good Morning Indiana, Indigo's Red Line is up and running right here in Indianapolis. So the focus is now shifting to the next steps in rapid transit. The concerns residents are now raising over the proposed Blue Line.
And new development on the east side is giving residents and local businesses hope for growth in the area. The plans in the works for the vacant Angie's List buildings. But first, here at 5:30, we want to check in on the weather. Thankfully, things feeling a little warmer than they did yesterday at this time.
Yeah, we want to check in with Todd, though, because we know there's some cold fronts moving through. I got rain this morning, Todd, and that's what I woke up to. What can we expect as we head out there?
Yeah, the rain is pretty much done, and that rain that you experienced, Lauren, and many of you did at home as well, you may have woken up to it, was the actual cold front coming through. Not only did it rain, there was a pretty good gust of wind that came through as well. So what do you need here throughout the day today? Well, I think you definitely need to have the jacket from start to finish. You do not need the umbrella. We're basically done with the rainfall. And you may need sunglasses here or there briefly throughout the day today. Ultimately, though, I do think the clouds are going to win out throughout much of this Wednesday as far as the rain showers go. Still a few here on the far southeastern portion of Indiana. That is just about it. The sky is trying to clear, and I do think we see a little bit of sunshine initially here this morning, but then the clouds are going to fill back in. So if you have some sunshine, enjoy it while it lasts. Overall, it's a mostly cloudy day for us. And as far as temperatures go, we hold pretty steady in the 40s this morning, and then we barely cracked the 50-degree mark later on this afternoon. So by far the coolest day of the week for us. We'll talk more about the rest of the week for you coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We are keeping a close eye on traffic as you're heading out to work or school on this Wednesday morning. Good morning to you in Fishers. Up here in Hamilton County, traffic's moving along just fine along Interstate 69. This is a Lions Look near 106th Street. Let's take a look at our traffic now map at this early hour. Monitoring a crash here 2 hour north. This one's at 29th Street and Fall Creek Parkway South. South Drive. It looks like it could be on Central Avenue, so we'll continue to monitor that. No reports of any injuries at this hour. Let's take a turn right now up to the northwest side of town where we have some ongoing road work. I-65 here near 38th Street. Just use caution as you're traveling northbound and southbound. Lane restrictions in the area due to this ongoing road work. Of course, we'll keep you updated on any delays.
Now that Indigo's red line is up and running, the focus is now shifting to the blue line, Indigo's next big project that they say will provide rapid transit along Washington Street between Cumberland and the airport. But there are some people who are not in favor of adding another bus route to the city's already busy and crowded streets. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with what residents have to say. Hey, Kelsey.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, so the concern is exactly that. It's the traffic here on Washington Street. Residents and business owners say that it could impact it because they want to have a single lane just for those buses, which means that traffic will be down to one lane here on Washington Street, one way each way, which residents and business owners say that's just not going to cut it. So tonight they're having a meeting here at the Washington Township Government Building at 5:30 so residents, business owners can voice their concerns to Indigo representatives. So the proposed map of the blue line shows the route would be 24 miles long with a bus stop every half mile to a mile apart. And like I said, right now, the plan calls for the blue line to have dedicated lanes just like the red line does downtown. So here on Washington Street, that would reduce drivers to just one lane going each way, something Rachel Hawkins, a business owner along the route, says will cause issues. Hawkins says Washington Street is already a pretty busy road, but she says it's even worse when there's an accident on I-70 and traffic is redirected to Washington Street. She tells us she's not totally against the blue line. She just wants to make sure it's done in a way that will benefit riders and business owners in the area.
I certainly feel like this is something that could be beneficial if it's implemented correctly. According to their analysis report, it should be done with shared lanes, and they aren't going to have the increase in ridership to warrant having dedicated lanes. But I feel like if these changes aren't made, then I'm totally against the project going through.
Hawkins says when talking to other businesses in the area, she realized a lot of them were in the dark about what exactly Indigo is planning. That's why she planned a meeting to help educate others and to let Indigo representatives hear their concerns. So again, that meeting is tonight here at the Wayne Township Government Building. It's tonight at 5:30. She says there's also a Facebook page people can join just to learn more about Indigo's projects, especially the blue line. For now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Kelsey, thank you. This morning there was new hope that the vacant buildings that once housed Angie's List will be occupied once again. Since the beginning of the fall semester, the Ball State College of Architecture and Planning has been using one of the main buildings. That location has been vacant for more than 2 years. The move by Ball State is giving local business owners hope that more people will also invest in these buildings.
With these buildings getting occupied once again, hoping for more foot traffic, people coming here after work.
With the buildings where they are, and as beautiful as they are, it'd be fun to actually go inside and drink a beer or buy something.
Neighbors say any new businesses that come to the east side would be a win for the community.
One of the attorneys defending a man and a woman accused of adopting a child from Ukraine and abandoning her is asking for charges to be dismissed. He says the couple, they were actually victims of fraud. A hearing set for Christine and Michael Barnett was held yesterday, and they both face neglect charges. The Barnetts allegedly rented the girl an apartment in Tippecanoe County a few years after adopting her, and they never spoke with her again. So they claim the girl was actually an adult just pretending to be a child. Michael Barnett's attorney also wants his client's address to be removed from public records for safety reasons.
I'm very confident about our motions. I'm even more confident about Michael's innocence. We were prepared to argue those today. However, they were not set for a hearing, just for status. So we set those for the date for the 23rd of next week. Somewhat disappointed that Michael wasn't granted to exclude his home address from the public purview.
The judge wants to see more evidence and hear testimony that Michael Barnett's safety is at risk. The judge did say that Christine Barnett can leave the state and return to her home in Florida. Her attorney declined to comment.
We are working to learn what's next for a woman facing charges nearly 1 year after reporting her son to police. Mary York turned herself in at the Wayne County Jail on Tuesday. In December of last year, York called police to warn them that her 14-year-old son had taken a family member hostage and and forced them to drive him to Dennis Intermediate School in Richmond. She said he planned to open fire at the school. Police say they cornered the teen in a stairwell and he killed himself. York faces several charges, including neglect of a dependent and criminal recklessness.
An Indianapolis organization is getting a big boost in its fight to continue to serve our community. It's been just over a month since RTV6 first told you about Joy's House Adult Day and Caregiving Center that it may be forced to shut down due to a sudden funding shortage. Since our story first aired, we learned the group has received a $100,000 matching gift from a local donor. Joy's House says that means every gift up to that amount will double.
An Indianapolis man is reaching out to RTV6 for help after almost a year of frustration. He says a trash truck cracked and broke his curb late last year, and the damage still hasn't been repaired. Russell Cassidy says the problem in front of his house is marked by two big green cones that have been part of his yard since the start of 2019. According to the city's database, Cassidy's curb complaint has been listed as open and unresolved since January. That's a problem he says is unacceptable.
If this was the mayor's house, I bet he wouldn't have this sitting in front of his house. I bet the governor wouldn't have it sitting in front of his house. You know, why should I have it? I pay my taxes just like he does and just like the mayor does and the governor. Why can't I get things done?
A DPW spokesperson tells RTV6 Cassidy's curb likely won't be repaired until Harlan Street is included in the capital improvement project when other work will be done. But DPW says that project has not been budgeted.
Longtime Indianapolis police officer Bill Benjamin has accepted Senator Jim Merritt's request to be his police chief. That is, if Merritt is elected to mayor next month.
Benjamin, a Democrat, said his name kept coming up in Merritt's discussions about a possible chief. Benjamin was a 27-year veteran of IMPD and also served in the sheriff's office. He lost in the 2018 primary to be the next Marion County sheriff. Benjamin says that the city's crime problem is deeper than any political party, and Republican Jim Merritt's voting history does not bother him.
I like what the platform is today. I'm not thinking about past voting records or any of that thing. If he thinks that I'm the person to help reduce crime, slow the murder rate.
A spokesperson for Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett's campaign defended current IMPD Chief Brian Roach, saying, quote, under his leadership, our police force has grown, neighborhood ties have been strengthened, and law enforcement has once again returned to community-based beat policing, end quote. At 5:39, we want to take a look at the weather. Showers moving out of our area, Todd.
Yeah, and that's the good news as you get ready to take to the roadways and you get your Wednesday going here across central Indiana. Roadways definitely potentially could be wet in spots, but we're not looking at any additional rainfall. There's just a few lingering showers down here near Cincinnati, and they're going to be pushing off towards the east. In fact, sky's trying to clear a little bit, but ultimately we're going to start to see the clouds win out as the day goes on. So as the kids head off to the bus stop, they need the jacket. Temperatures on average will be right around 41 degrees with skies that'll be mostly cloudy as the kids come home from school. Unfortunately, not a whole lot of warming will be taking place, right around 51 degrees. It's still cool. It's still breezy today, as we'll see some wind gusts up to near 25 miles per hour. Now going forward in this forecast, our temperatures will remain below normal, and normal is 65 degrees at least for the next few days. But as we get towards the weekend, that's when temperatures are going to moderate back up into the 70s. With the warmth, though, will come some rain chances. More on that coming up in Maine weather in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. 12 Democratic candidates took the stage last night in the fourth primary debate. Coming up, the many jabs aimed at Senator Elizabeth Warren.
And a restaurant chain is offering employees the chance to go to college tuition-free. Still add the new program offered to staff at Chipotle.
And here at 541, we want to give you a live look at your commute through the downtown area. This is I-70 at the North Split, where traffic is traveling up to speed. No crashes here on the interstates to slow you down. Stick around. We'll be right back after this short break with more news, weather, and traffic to kick off your Wednesday.
To see proof in action.
Welcome back. The time right now is 5:45 on your Wednesday, and we're keeping a close eye on traffic. Looks like everything here on the north side is traveling up to speed. This is I-465 and Keystone Avenue. We did have some lane restrictions earlier this morning in this area. It looks like everything is back open this morning after some overnight construction. We'll keep you updated on any crashes or delays coming up in my full traffic report. Well, 12 candidates faced off in Ohio for the 4th Democratic presidential debate last night. This crowded field taking jabs and sparring over key issues like health care.
Many were attacking Senator Elizabeth Warren's policy positions, while Joe Biden played defense over questions about his son's foreign business activities. ABC's Rachel Scott has more from Westerville, Ohio.
Time to fight back. A rising Senator Elizabeth Warren riding into the 4th Democratic debate with a boost in the polls.
Shut down.
Let's figure out why it is that we taking heat from her Democratic rivals.
You are making Republican talking points right now in this room.
The Massachusetts senator, known for her sweeping plans.
I will not sign a bill into law that does not lower costs for middle-class families.
Criticized for refusing to acknowledge if her Medicare for All policy would lead to tax increases.
At least Bernie's being honest here and saying how he's going to pay for this and that taxes are going to go up.
A yes or no question that didn't get a yes or no answer.
The divide on health care center stage, Warren pushing back.
Whenever someone hears the term Medicare for all who want it, understand what that really means. It's Medicare for all who can afford it.
But on the issue of impeachment, there was no debate.
Because as a former prosecutor, I know a confession when I see it.
He should be removed.
As President Trump calls for the Bidens to be investigated, former Vice President Joe Biden faced questions about his son's foreign business dealings while he was vice president.
My son did nothing wrong. I carried out the policy of the United States government in rooting out corruption in Ukraine.
And Senator Bernie Sanders stepping back into the ring after a recent heart attack, making clear he's ready to carry on.
And we are going to be mounting a vigorous campaign all over this country.
And as Senator Sanders heads back out on the campaign trail, he teased a special guest at his upcoming rally in New York City. Senior campaign sources tell ABC News it will be Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who plans to give Sanders her endorsement. Rachel Scott, ABC News, Westerville, Ohio.
Here at 547, no injuries were reported after an explosion sparked a fire that destroyed ethanol tanks at a refinery out in California. According to fire officials, more than 250,000 gallons of ethanol are burning at the New Star Energy facility. 2 tanks were completely destroyed and 2 others were badly damaged. Officials say the smoke is a public health threat and the shelter has been set up for people who are living nearby. Several wildfires were started as a result of this fire, but have all been contained. Back here at home, we want to check in with Todd Clausen and see what we can expect in our forecast here in central Indiana.
Yeah, you definitely need to have the jacket handy today, Lauren. Notice I didn't just say this morning like I have the past few days. I really think you'll need it from start to finish, as our temperatures will be on the cool side. But the good news is a warming trend will start tomorrow. And by this weekend, I think you'll be wearing the short sleeves once again as temperatures get back up into the 70s. So we had a front sweep across the state as expected with a round of rain. But on Storm Team 6 radar, you can see all that rain now is off into Ohio. So that is good news. We are not expecting any additional rainfall in our forecast throughout the day today. Unfortunately, we're not expecting a whole lot in the way of sunshine. The skies have initially cleared here behind the passage of this front in Peru, Kokomo, Crawfordsville, Terre Haute, and even in Indianapolis. I could see the moon through the clouds. However, these clouds are going to fill back in as the day goes on. So if you see any sunshine this morning, you are going to be on the lucky side, because eventually these clouds are going to win out. You can see the overall circulation here is counterclockwise with the area of low pressure, and all these clouds to the north are going to continue to filter back into our area. So definitely not going to be the brightest day with these persistent northwesterly winds, and it's more so the wind direction than the wind speeds that are going to be the issue. So you notice these arrows pointing down to the bottom of your screen. This is the direction the wind is coming from, so it's from the northwest. And then you see the wind speeds here. These are going to be the gusts, and pretty much all day long those wind gusts are going to be up right around 25 miles per hour. That's not enough really to cause any damage. However, it is enough probably to be a little bit of an inconvenience if you're going to be walking around across central Indiana and you look to the northwest to see what the temperatures are doing, and you see it's in the 30s and 40s. So that's the air mass we will be getting ourselves into as the day progresses here across the area. And already temperatures are down into the low 40s to the west in Crawfordsville, 45 in Green Greenfield. And all these temperatures you see here will go down another couple degrees here this morning before they start to climb just slowly throughout the afternoon hours. But we do not see a big jump in temperatures whatsoever. So we're in the 40s here through the noon hour with that gusty wind, and then eventually up to right around 51 degrees, it looks like, for your afternoon high temperatures later on this afternoon. Going forward in this forecast, tomorrow's a chilly start. We're in the 30s in most locations, about 40 degrees at 8 a.m. with still some lingering cloud cover, but then it becomes brighter. We get the sunshine back. Temperatures are into the upper 50s tomorrow. And as you look at your 7-day planning forecast, that warming trend, and I mentioned the short sleeves by the weekend, will be back up into the low 70s. It's still cool in the morning, but you can use the short sleeves in the afternoon. Just a chance of a stray shower late in the day on Saturday. Better rain chances enter the forecast as we get into Monday and Tuesday of next week.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a live look at traffic right now. We have our Traffic Now map and a crash we've been monitoring here on the north side. Just got some new details from police on this one. It says it's at 29th Street near Fall Creek Parkway South Drive, also near Central Avenue, where they say an Indigo bus was involved in this crash. No injuries were reported, and it should be clear soon. So this was just a little minor incident here on the north side. Shouldn't change up your commute too much this morning. Let's take a look to our northwest, I-65, a little north of 38th Street. You can see traffic here is moving along up to speed despite the orange barrels that are in at least one travel lane this morning. We'll keep you updated on any crashes or delays as you're heading out the door this Wednesday.
Chipotle is rolling out a new program to help their employees get college degrees. Employees can choose from 75 degrees at 5 schools, and the restaurant chain will cover the cost of tuition. All the options are in business and technology fields. There's an application process, and you must have worked at Chipotle for at least 120 days with a minimum of 15 hours per week. Chipotle also requires staff to continue working for at least 6 months after earning their degrees.
The Indy 11 will play their final home game of the regular season tonight. Just after the break, the advantage they hope to get coming into the playoffs. We'll be right back.
The world's largest wood floor refinisher.
Thousands of soccer fans will be rolling into downtown Indy tonight. It's the final home match of the regular season for the Indy 11. The team is unbeaten at Lucas Oil Stadium this season. They had a final workout on Tuesday up at Grand Park in Westfield. Indy 11 have set season records for total wins, road wins, and total points. They are currently in 3rd place in the USL's Eastern Conference standings. With a win or tie tonight, they'll almost guarantee a home match for the playoffs. An average of more than 10,000 fans have been making Lucas Oil Stadium a true home field advantage. If you'd like to take part in the excitement tonight, the match starts at 7 at Lucas Oil Stadium. Gates open at 6. The ticket office and will call open at 5. The south lot will be open for tailgating starting at 4, and the playoffs start next week. Currently, the schedule would have Indy at home next Saturday night. Pretty exciting.
Awesome. Well, and for the tailgaters at 4 o'clock this afternoon, Todd, what can they expect out there?
You know, they're going to have to bundle up. Temperature's probably going to be right around 50 degrees, but it's going to be mostly cloudy, cool, and breezy. Now, the good news is, at least for your morning commute, and as the kids head off to the bus stop, the rain has made its way out of central Indiana. From this point forward, we are dry throughout the remainder of the day. Temperatures are in the mid-40s right now, but here is the problem. Going forward throughout the course of the day today, our temperatures are not really going to warm much at all because of that gusty northwesterly wind. We'll see mostly cloudy skies and a high temperature that gets back up only to 51 degrees. So it's one of those days that I think you'll need the jacket not only this morning, but really throughout the entire day.
While building a legacy park, the fight against cancer that one family did not expect. I'm Rafael Sanchez. That story next on RTV6.
And thousands of manufacturing jobs are open, and they need to be filled here in the state of Indiana. Coming up and hiring Hoosiers, the local company working to get that next generation involved in that industry. We'll be right back at 6 a.m.